Hi guys, it's Toby here, the creator of the Save My Life programme. Welcome to another weekly e-zine. Now this week I want to talk to you about stress, which is a massive cause of weight gain for a lot of people, especially the comfort eating side of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what stress is, how it causes our body to react and why that puts on weight, and then a few different ways on how we can actually combat against stress, okay, and try and eliminate as much as we can. So, first of all, stress is a heightened and physical and mental state, okay? So what that means is when we get stressed, it's all controlled by our brain, okay? So that's what causes us to get stressed. And then we release hormones when we get stressed, which then causes our heart rate to increase. Some people get sweats, cramps and what have you, okay? Now, stress is actually a natural fight or flight response, okay? What we mean by that is that your body's sort of gearing itself up to protect itself, so either by running away from something or fighting against it. So it's a natural response for this to happen. As we've developed, instead of caveman being scared of sort of the saber-toothed tiger, we're now sort of scared on more emotional and psychological things which are damaging to us. So it's just how our body's adapted. So it's a natural flight or fight response that we can't control, and what happens is it releases these hormones which is called cortisol, which is what we talked about last week. So as we discussed last week, if your cortisol levels go too high or too low, then it will cause you to crave food, okay? So which is how comfort eating comes about. So, cortisol's released when we get stressed, okay, when we get worked up about something, and we're constantly thinking about it, it's on our mind, maybe we've had an argument with someone, something like that. So what actually happens is cortisol's released, and we know that this hormone causes cravings, okay, so that will actually cause you to crave, okay, which at the time, because we're in stress and we're not really thinking clearly, causes us to comfort eat, okay, so again, increased amount of calories and bad food we're intaking here, okay, which causes us to put on weight, okay? And you won't just crave the good stuff either, we all know that, so you're going to crave fatty, sugary and salty foods, okay, which are obviously all really bad for you. Now, another side effect of that cortisol being released is it causes fluctuations in blood sugar levels, okay, which is what we're trying to level out. So, if we get causes fluctuations in blood sugar levels, then what happens is we crave more sugary foods, okay, so we intake more calories as sugar, which then gets stored as fat because we're not burning it off, and this upsets the whole of our diet, okay. Another thing that cortisol also causes to do is the metabolism to slow down, okay, so obviously we're not burning as many calories at rest, okay. All in all, stress is just throwing us out of the whole of the healthy system that we're in, okay. Now, another impact that stress has that you might not necessarily notice is that when you're stressed, either at work or something, you get really busy and you feel as though you haven't got time to do something. So, for instance, you might be stressed because you're sitting in a traffic jam and you think, oh, like, by the time I get home, I'm not going to have time to cook. Well, in fact, you do. But it's a natural reaction to make us feel like that, so then what happens is we end up grabbing food on the way home, so an unhealthy takeaway meal or a microwave meal from the supermarket if you like. So what happens is this just adds to the build-up in terms of the physical reactions. So mentally we then think, oh, we haven't got time to cook, so we lose ourselves off our diet, and also we think, oh no, another thing's more important. So then we end up missing our exercise as well, okay, which again, opportunity to burn calories and lose weight. So, how to combat stress, okay, so we want to try and break these brain patterns. Stress is controlled by the brain. It's a mental thing rather than a physical thing. Really, half the time, the stuff that you're getting stressed out about is just pointless. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. So, the idea is to break the brain pattern, okay, and there's 4 ways you can do that, which are best. First one is music, okay, so stick on a bit of music that breaks your brain pattern, you no longer think about what you're stressed about, something that you enjoy. Another one is movement, okay, so go out, go for a walk, get time to clear your head, or literally guys, just sort of hop up and start just taking your mind off stuff, maybe a few star jumps or funny dance moves or whatever you want to do. Just break that brain pattern, or even it might even be a bit of housework, yeah? I know it's probably not the best time to do it when you're stressed out, but yeah, movement, breaks the brain pattern. Change of thought, okay? Think about something else. If you're getting stressed out with a task at work, then move on from one thing to another and then come back to it later. It's not going to be that important, okay? If you're getting stressed out about it, it's not that important. Yeah, and in general, just do something different, okay? Change that mindset that you're in from being stressed out and worrying about something to something else. Focus on something different, okay? It's all about breaking that brain pattern, and the quicker you can learn to do that, the less you're going to end up getting your cortisol levels up and then craving food and then ultimately giving in and losing your weight. Great. If you've got any other questions, then send me an email back to this and I'll be happy to answer it. If not, then I will speak to you next week. Have a great weekend.